Alright, so what I'm going to do to start out on this episode is just create the material of travertine. So if you went to this website here, CG Mood, travertine material, you can get it for free. The only thing is it doesn't come with like a normal map, I think, or there's a few maps that are missing. So you can actually use a free software called Materialize and you can create it yourself. I don't know if you really can be bothered to do that. It may not be a biggie. But yeah, that's something you could do. So I'm just going to create a new material and call it travertine. And I'm just going to drag and drop in the textures that I made. This is a really, really nice texture. So let's just chuck that in. What are we applying it to? The floor. Okay. So I might not actually, there might be a slightly different one for the floor. I also use Polygon for my materials. And it is a paid kind of asset library. But honestly, you're not going to really get far in ArcViz if you try to spend no money. So I definitely recommend checking Polygon out. So it's really important that when you kind of create these materials that you're actually picking the right color space, because you don't want these to all be RGB. So I've got a roughness map. Cool. I'm not even sure if I want to use roughness, to be honest. Displacement, to be honest. So, yeah, non-color. Okay, and then that one's going to be glass, but we'll get to that soon. All right. Okay, and then mid-level scale 0.001. Okay, let's just go into viewport shading for a bit and we can kind of see what we're dealing with here. I'm going to go into camera view on the side, bring that across quite a bit. That's just going to be like a little mini view. And now, let's just see what we're working with. I'm going to turn this to viewport shading too. So it's really important that when you're texturing, you're actually picking the right scale. I recommend using Texel Density Checker, which is, I think it's free. And basically you just select the texture size, and I go for the Texel Density, which is like, I don't even know how to explain it. Basically just click this 20.48 if it's a 4K texture and go set my TD. And if it's a 2K texture, you change it to 2K and you do the same thing. And also you can assign a checker material to see like if it's looking all right. And you can see it's actually not. So what we want to do is we actually want to isolate this floor and do a bit of a UV map scenario. So I'm just going to select all the top bits, but not the kind of like the middle bits. So let's just do this. It doesn't really matter what you do after, like below that, because you're not going to see it. So let's just go right click, mark seam, tab out of it, apply with Control A and go all transforms, tab back into it, go on surface face select, and then just go unwrap angle based. Oh geez, it's a bit weird. Let's just try smart UV project. Okay, that one worked. You might just need to play around with it. I think it's probably because of what's going on over here. Cool. All right, so let's tab out now. Let's go restore the material. And that's looking a little bit big. So what I might do is go 10.24. Okay, actually, I don't know what just happened. I just changed the texel density back to 20.48 and it actually worked. Cool. So that's our floor and the material set up. But what we want to do also is set up the subdivision surface. And let's change it to simple. I'm also going to change the renderer engine to cycles, and we're going to change it to experimental. And if we go back, that's basically going to mean that we can use adaptive subdivision, which is cool. Let's also go back in, and just a really good texturing rule of thumb is before you do any subdividing, you want to make sure that all these little kind of cuts that we've made actually look like proper like squares. They can't be like weird rectangles. So I'm not I'm not an expert in UV mapping, but just try your best to get these looking as close to squares as possible. And that means that when we go and use the subdivision modifier, it's actually not going to look too strange. So I'm actually going to go into cycles mode and just kind of check out what the displacement's doing. If it is, no, it's not. So what we want to go and do in the material properties is go to settings, and for displacement, we're going to go displacement and bump. Okay. I'm also just going to initially create a HDRI setup. So I haven't actually tested any yet, but let's just go and open a HDRI. I don't really know which one. Okay, this one's fine. This one's from PG Skies, but you can literally use any. It doesn't actually matter that much about the HDRIs for this kind of project because it's an interior render. So you're not going to see too much of the exterior. All right, so what I'm going to do here is subdivide the kind of edges that we've already made just a few more times. So let's go like maybe 7 times for now. Now let's kind of go out of this. Let's check it out in cycles again. So I just want it to really pick up some of these little small minor kind of, let's change the scale. Yeah, okay. So it is working, but we just want to make sure the scale is maybe like 0.05. 0.01. We really just want a few dark spots every so often, because it should be pretty smooth. But this is actually not going to be the floor material, so this is just to test it on a big surface. So what we're going to do is go back out and view things out of isolation. I'm going to apply that material to the vanity, and I'm also going to apply it to the bathtub. So if we isolate those two, let's go into the vanity now, and I'm going to do a quick UV kind of cut. All right, so I've just kind of I've gone and selected all the sharp edges, and I'm going to go mark seam so that we can now UV map it. But before we do that, Control A, apply all transformations. Right click, unwrap, angle based, and let's go apply that travertine material. Let's have a look what it looks like. And we also want to go set the TD to 20.4a. That should make it a little bit smaller. That actually looks a bit better. Yeah, cool. So it actually needs to be double. So if I go calculate TD, that's on 40.961. You can click this to double it, so to make it smaller. Let's just quickly do the same for the bath. All right, so same thing. Let's go unwrap. And always remember to save your projects. Okay, let's add a travertine material to this one too. Let's go into cycles mode. Hopefully I haven't destroyed it. So let's go click on this, calculate, set, and then go set. So we've taken the texel density from this one by calculating what it is. We've set the value, and then we've clicked on this and we've gone set. Cool. I think that looks quite cool. There is one little thing, and I'm not sure why that is doing that. Yeah, okay, that's all right. So let's get out of this view now, And let's go back into the whole kind of mode. I'm actually going to make this travertine as well. So let's go apply the modifier. Because I'm lazy, I'm just going to select all of this. And I'm going to go mark seam, apply, unwrap, angle based, set the TD, apply the travertine. Done. So let's just have a look now. Actually, there probably won't be anything unless I get rid of the ceiling. Oh, it is gotten rid of. Let's just go and enable GPU rendering. Because it's kind of a reasonably small job, I can actually render it with my GPU. And let's go denoise as well. Nice. Okay, so you can actually see that's looking quite good. Pretty like interesting in terms of the draws that are also travertine. I think that's quite funky. I'm gonna just create a quick black metal thingamajig. So let's go remove this. Let's make a new one and call it black metal. It'll be some sort of powder coated metal. So let's change this color to like that. Metallic up, roughness up. And I think that's good. What I'm going to do is, actually I might just reduce that blackness a little bit. Let's select all of this here. And that, look, this is kind of a lazy method, but it is what it is. Let's also select that tapware. Let's select, I don't actually want that one to be that. Let's select this one. So selecting all the tapware, and we're going to go into here. We're going to change this to black metal. Go down here to this tab, copy material to selected. Yep. And let's remove that one. I must have accidentally gone through. We're going to call this one chrome. And let's boost the metallic. Let's zoom up on this. Boost the metallic. Reduce the roughness a little bit. And let's just darken that up a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. So let's go into our view. Jeez, looks a bit strange with the sun. All right, so the toilet, let's just click on it because it's already got a material applied, and let's reduce the roughness right down. I don't want any metallic. Base color, I do want to be a little bit kind of off-white, and then I think that's pretty good. So for this, we want to just create a glass material. You can literally do that by making glass, like clicking glass, and then Shift A, create a glass BSDF, and you can literally just chuck this in here, and that's job done. However, I don't want to do that kind of glass. I'm going to go to polygon. That's not polygon. And I'm going to use a ribbed glass. So let's select that. And let's see how that looks. Apply transforms. Unwrap. Set the TD to 20.48 because it is it's a 2K texture. Let's do 10.24, I think. Nope. Let's do 20.48 and then double up, and that should be perfect. Yeah, that's nice. So let's go back out of isolation mode now. Okay, that's pretty damn cool. So we're not done. Let's go on these walls. We're in quick mode now because I want to finish this off for you guys. So I'm literally just going to go isolate just the walls. Remove these. And I'm going to go mark seam on all of these. Apply. And we're going to unwrap. And I'm going to set the TD to that. 20.48 if it's a 4K texture. And I'm going to go back to polygon. We are going to use this square travertine texture. If you don't have polygon and you don't want to get it, that's totally fine. You can use the travertine material we already set up, but I want this one to be a little bit different because it's actually got some kind of cuts in it. So this is like a tile or a block, which can add a little bit of interest to the scene. If you don't want to use travertine at all, that's fine. You could use whatever you want. Like, that's why I've created a Discord channel specifically for this project, so that you can actually like show your design taste. So I think that's pretty cool. So let's go and check this out. So oh, even in viewport mode, that's looking pretty cool. I'm also going to apply it to this one here. So tiles, travertine, nice. However, the only thing is I want to make these colors a little bit similar. So what we're going to do is let's have a look in 3D and just see what the best kind of color is. I kind of prefer this more white one. So I'm going to go in here, create a hue saturation value, and I'm actually going to alter this, the albedo of the polygon texture. So if I go 0.52, let's just see 0.56. Okay, that's actually almost a 0.55. It's a little bit green. Okay, let's just reduce the saturation to like 0.7. 0.4. 0.5, and let's do value of like 1.4. All right, so that's a pretty quick way that you can just like basically match an existing material with something else. Let's also apply the chrome to this real quick. So if I go in here and actually it is. So if I increase metallic, pretty much only a tiny bit of roughness just to get rid of the reflection. Let's make this a little bit darker. Yeah, that's looking good. Let's move this as well. This is our boolean. We don't want to see that at all. And then we've also got like let's see, this tile here. Let's just get out of viewport mode real quick. I'm going to mark the seam, apply, unwrap, and let's apply the floor material. Okay, let's just go back. This should be quite a cool little, let's just calculate this TD. Where is my texel density? Calculate TD, set value. Did that work? Set my TD. Yeah, that should be good. Cool. All right, so what I want to do though is we've actually got a ceiling here, so it's going to be pitch black. You're not going to see a single thing. So what we need to do is actually create a boolean that will cut the window. So we don't want to necessarily see this boolean, but we want to create a source of light that will look pretty cool. So let's go move this to boolean. And let's turn that on now. So we're going to go back on this wall. And I'm just literally testing it out. That's not boolean. Let's just create a cut in here and see how it looks in terms of like getting some light in here. So that's where the door will be, which, I mean, it could be interesting to do that. So let's move this along. And what I also want to do is boost up the exposure quite a bit. Just something like this. And Let's play around with another kind of location for a window. And let's make this full height as well. So maybe something like that. When you see bathrooms, by the way, like kind of examples of bathrooms, you don't really see the light source. So I think it's okay if we don't really necessarily show the window. By the way, I do want to model some mirrors at some point. I've got some up my sleeve. Cool. So yeah, I want something like this where you see the lighting, but you don't actually see the light source. So I think I'm going to stick with this window location here. Let's turn that's cool. Okay. And obviously there needs to be some lighting up in the ceiling. So, and I'm also going to change this ceiling material to be a nice warm plaster. So if I go back to polygon, let's just see if I can quickly find a warm plaster. Cool. I'm going to go lime plaster texture beige. Let's just mark seam, apply, unwrap, angle based, texel density, you know the drill, set my TD. And I'm just going to raise this value quite a bit and reduce the saturation, kind of match the tones a little bit more. I'm actually going to increase the saturation of the travertine back because I actually kind of prefer maybe not as saturated as that, maybe like 0.7. We might actually just not get into artificial lighting in this one, but I think we've made some really big progress anyway. I'm going to change this look down here to high contrast, actually not, medium high contrast. And I can see this tap is getting a little bit out of hand, so let's just kind of like reduce that a little bit. I think we are going to leave it here. So I hope you found this part useful, and I hope you're following along with me. Make sure to jump on the Discord. As I've said before, you can share your work from this project. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one, where we will go more in depth into the lighting, doing artificial lighting, and just kind of like finessing the scene up a little bit more with those fine tweaks. So I look forward to seeing you in episode 4. Cheers.